I kind of feel that America is my wife and China is my mother, and now they don't get along, and both have nuclear weapons, and I'm trying to make both people laugh. This is terrible.
Joe Wong is one of the few stand-up comedians who regularly performs to crowds in the US and China. He immigrated to the US from China in the 90s and started doing stand-up in Boston, Massachusetts after getting a PhD in biochemistry. Few people knew about Joe Wong until he was invited to roast another, more famous man named Joe in 2010, Vice President Joe Biden.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Joe Wong.
I'm honored to meet Vice President Joe Biden here tonight. I actually read your autobiography, and today I see you. I think the book is much better.
Now, Joe lives in Beijing and hosts his own hit TV show in China, while touring the country performing stand-up.
It's probably a good time for immigrant comedians, bad time for immigrants.
So, I am actually an American immigrant, and they say that America is a country of immigrants. So I have to ask you guys, please leave my country. I'm serious. We have a zero tolerance policy right now.
There was a couple of other jokes that was cut out. One joke was, a lot of people blame Trump for taking immigrant kids from their parents. But to be fair, he also takes white kids from their parents through the help of NRA. I just told this joke, the audience gasped in the beginning. They were like, and then gradually they started to laugh and applaud. So it might be a little bit too controversial for that joke to get aired, or maybe it's just time. They cut that joke out, but it was, I still think it kind of summarizes my opinion of Trump on his treatment of kids, basically. Immigrant kids or kids from poor backgrounds, he's cutting benefit for those kids, and he doesn't even care about white kids because of the gun violence on school campuses. I would say bad things about Trump in America, and nobody will say anything. They're like, ha ha ha, that's funny. But if I post something in China, there were a lot of Chinese actually defending Trump. And they were like, oh, he's a democratically elected president of the United States. How can I make fun of him? I'm like, Jesus, Hitler was democratically elected too. Just because he's elected doesn't mean he doesn't do bad things. When I was doing stand-up in the US, I deliberately stayed away from topics about race and ethnicity. But looking back, maybe it's better to make more of those jokes, because later I realized that people don't know Asian Americans that well. And a lot of people don't quite even know what Asian stereotypes are, So it's probably good to talk about it more to have people know us first. Especially with my style of comedy, a lot of times you have to think a little bit about the jokes before you laugh. And that is not something that's popular in China. But people are changing.
后来我还明白过来，其他人走我也走啊，我就发现中国式过马路特别给我安全感。真的，有的时候我正走呢，一看，哎呦，4辆卡车奔我来了，没事，有5个大妈在保护我呢。
Every comedian's dream is to have his own show. It's kind of my American dream. And in this sense, China helped me to achieve my American dream here.
Although he's best known in the US for his stand-up, Joe is famous in China for hosting a myth-busting show called Is It True?, which answers burning questions like, can you eat pomegranate seeds? And do owls have long legs?
猫头鹰也是大长腿，是真的吗？
真的。
你想哪？好像觉得是真的。见过猫头鹰吗？
因为我觉得猫头鹰也是鹰的腿都挺长的，它们抓东西的时候。
There's so much internet rumors in China that it just warrants a show that kind of clarifies it. For a while, I was kind of almost depressed. I just feel that whatever I've gone through was understood by so few people, because there are very few people who did stand-up comedy in America and then do it again in China. I came to China, I was like, oh, this is a bad decision, you know, why do I put myself through this? Now I see the value of going between the US and China now, just because there's so little real communication, and I think comedians are the best people to introduce one culture to another. And also I hope that more Chinese people can come to the US. So that way, at least makes my comedy in China easier. They kind of know how American style of humor works.